My frustration with Zhang Weili continues to grow even bigger, even stronger, even deeper. After just finding out not only is Tatiana not getting her shot at the belt and has to fight Virna Jandiroba. No, it's not because Weili is taking extra time off, from what we know. No, Weili ducked her for someone else, but who? Who's this mystery fighter that Weili ducked Tatiana for? Because I'm hearing Weili has fight news soon, apparently. According to Aaron Braunstetter on Twitter, White says that the UFC, bitch-ass Dana White, who gives Weili, I don't want to say unwarranted privilege because the UFC is a business, but Dana, who fucking sucks, who gives Zhang privilege to sit on her ass, hold up the division, and duck deserving contenders. Dana White says the UFC met with Zhang Weili next week, or that the UFC will meet with Zhang Weili next. Let me just reread it. White says that the UFC met with Weili next week. Okay, he clearly wrote this the wrong way, but whatever. And her next fight will be announced soon. I think he meant to say this week. But yeah, he said apparently her next fight will be announced soon. Wow. So Tatiana is fighting Virna. She's getting snubbed of a title shot. But for who? Like, of all people, who could it be? Who could be standing in her way of a title shot? Because literally the only other alternative for Tatiana is who she's fighting, Virna Jandiroba. That's the only other option for Zhang Weili, because in the top 5, Virna and Tatiana are the only girls coming off wins. Yan Xiaonan just fought the champion and lost, and it wasn't even close. No rematch warranted. Amanda Lemos just lost to the girl that Tatiana's fighting. Jessica would have been the only other alternative if her dumbass didn't go back to flyweight and take the Natalia fight and lose. She could have actually waited, and maybe the UFC would have picked her over Tatiana, which would have been stupid as fuck, but that would have been the only other logical explanation. So the only other thing I can think of, really, I was thinking maybe Mackenzie Dern. But then I realized, Dern is fighting Rebus in a rematch one card after December 7th when Tatiana and Virna are fighting. So I'm thinking, okay, it's not Loopy. If it's Angela Hill, I think Hill might be coming off a loss. I'm not sure. Don't care about her. Don't pay attention to her career. It's not Hill. It must be Tabitha Ricci, man. Like, are we literally about to see a strawweight version of the situation with Ankalaev where he got snubbed of a title shot for Khalil Rountree? Are we about to see a similar situation? Like, because I'm seeing parallels between both situations. Ankalaev, the clear next contender for Alex Pereira, gets given Alexander Rakic, a matchup that makes no sense at all. But when that fight got booked, it got announced before Rountree Pereira. So with that news being broken, I had assumed that, okay, Poatan is either going to move up to heavyweight in his next fight, challenge Tom Aspinall for the interim title, and the winner of that can maybe fight the winner of Jones-Stipe, hopefully it being John Jones, because that's a bigger fight for both guys, or he would just sit out for the rest of 2024 and come back and fight the winner of Rakic early 2025. But no, sure enough, a week later, it gets announced that Alex Pereira is defending his belt against the number 8 ranked Khalil Rountree, who does not deserve a shot at the title, but is only being given the title shot so the UFC, 1, can protect Pereira, and 2, so they could save the Salt Lake City, Utah card. So, could they be announcing 1 week later Zhang Weili versus Tabitha Ricci for UFC Macau or Macau, however you pronounce it? Is that really about to happen? Like, I swear to God, if Tabitha Ricci gets a title shot over Tatiana Suarez, Okay, I'm not going to act like I feel bad for Verna in this situation, because I do not care about Verna Jandiroba. I don't care if she gets screwed over. Not a fan of Verna. I only care about Tatiana. But, you know, Verna arguably could be fighting for the belt as well. But I swear to God, if Tabitha is next in line for the belt, the UFC as a promotion will have lost so much credibility and respect and integrity. Like, this sport will have become an absolute joke if you can literally be ranked number 9 in the division and be gifted a title shot. If being number 1 doesn't matter and you can be snubbed for the number 8, number 9 contender, what is this sport anymore? What is the UFC anymore? This is just giving me a bigger reason to not like the UFC anymore if this happens. Like, wow, I guess rankings just mean fuck all, right? Like, the only other logical and respectable explanation there could be is Zhang Weili. Her next fight is for the flyweight title to become the double champ against Valentina the Bullet Shevchenko, which, I mean, it's still kind of weird because Valentina had just fought, although she had a pretty comfortable fight, easy fight against Alexa Grasso, unfortunately. But she won that fight, didn't break a sweat, made it look easy, took no damage, so she could maybe turn around for December and fight Zhang, unless they're planning to do that for UFC 211 in January. But yeah, if it's not Valentina Shevchenko, if I find out it's going to be Tabitha, I am going to crash out so badly. I'm going to make another rant video cursing the UFC, cursing Dana White, cursing Sean Shelby, cursing Mick Maynard. I'm going to be so vexed if Tatiana is risking her title shot against Verna in favor of fucking Tabitha Ritchie, and not so Weili can chase greatness up a weight class. If it's for Weili challenging herself and daring to be great against Valentina, if it's for that, okay, it's still annoying, but I can commend that. But if it's for Tabitha, what an absolute joke. But we're gonna find out real soon. But yeah, it's just frustrating, man. They did not have to announce Tatiana versus Verna. They could have waited, and then I could have heard, oh, Weili has fight news soon, and then I could have been thinking to myself, ooh, it's the Tatiana fight that's about to be announced, since that clearly was the fight to make. But whatever. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.